Hey folks, welcome to episode 29 part 1 of the Eva Christie Hand Knitting podcast. I'm your host Eva and I'm coming to you from a typical autumnal day in Perth in Scotland. If you're new to the podcast, thanks for giving me a shot. I know there are a ridiculous in a good way, amount of podcasts out there to choose from. So I'm really humbled that you've chosen to take a wee bit of time out and check me. If you like it, then please do hit the like button, show it a bit of love. Think about subscribing to the podcast if you don't want to miss an episode. And if you're really into it, then please switch on the notifications button. YouTube has changed their algorithms recently and not everyone's being made aware when their favourite podcasts, new episodes are coming out. If you are a returning viewer, well thank you. We've almost hit 30, my goodness, never thought I would get this far. You'll find me on all the fun places on the internet. I am Pan Within on Ravelry, and we do have a Ravelry group for the podcast. That's what you want to go and check out and be a member of to be eligible to take part in any knit-alongs and giveaways that we do. I am Eva Christie Hand Knitting on Facebook and on Tumblr, although to be honest I haven't been on Tumblr since I really can't remember when, and I am Pam Within on Twitter. No I'm not, I'm at Eva Knits. Sorry, my head is all over the place today. This is my second time recording. It's 13th of November 2016. I tried to record yesterday. It wasn't an especially long podcast compared to some that I've done before, but I was having all sorts of technical difficulties with my phone. The lighting really isn't great at the moment. It doesn't seem to matter when I find any availability to record. The natural light at the moment is just absolutely dreadful, and I am limited as to what backdrops and things I can use, because if you're a regular viewer you will know that Josh and I moved into our forever home at the beginning of August, and it's still very much a work in progress. So I am improvising today because this is really the best sort of lighting setup I can get. I am concerned again that my phone might just die and I might just lose the will to live over it. I kid you not, I was just in the death throes of recording the podcast yesterday and it went, and then there just wasn't enough light by the time I tried to work out what had gone on. It wasn't good. So slightly different setup today. What I'm going to do is I want to show you the most amazing swap parcel that came from Carolyn. That's Carolyn of the Next Beautiful Thing podcast. So it came all the way from Canada, Barrie in Canada. And I want to show you a little bit of rehomed yarns and such. I know I said I wasn't going to add to it, but there is a good reason. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a life update and let you know some really exciting news. So what I'll do is I'll go through the news first. So the big news I've got to share with you all is that Perth Festival of Yarn will return in 2017. It has a new home. It's going to be hosted at the Dewars Centre in Perth. It's still a really central location. It's a 5-10 minute walk from both the bus and train stations. There's fantastic parking facilities there. There's free parking towards the front of the building, and there's also a free underground car park as well. It's been taking up a lot of my time at the moment, Perth Festival of Yarn. I can't share everything with you, but I am totally buzzing off it as to what we're going to be able to kind of bring to the community this year round. It is, honest to goodness, looking like this is going to be an annual event. It's really going to be a staple on the calendar, the UK Yarn calendar, and yeah, folk, start saving your pennies now, because this is one festival that you're just not going to want to miss out. I believe all the Scottish video podcasters are going to be there. I've had word that some may be coming from further afield. We are expanding into workshops. It's amazing. I am so excited. So there will be a website, there's already a website, but there's going to be a proper all singing, all dancing, book your tickets online type website coming to you towards the end of the year. beginning of next year. But at the moment, to make sure you're getting all the most up-to-date news, we've got a Facebook page, so go and give that some love. It's Perth Festival of Yarn. Like the page, switch on the notifications so that you get all the updates, because trust me, you are not wanting to miss a single one this year. It's just going to be amazing. And I want to already say a massive, massive thanks to John Glenn, who will probably be better known to many of you as Beardy Cheel of Beardy Cheel's Knitting Banter. He's been giving me really quite a lot of support and love and guidance behind the scenes so far, and I really, really do appreciate that. That's the massive news. In other life news, well, we've just had all sorts of hell break loose all over the house. We had 5 emergency call-outs for our boiler and hot water system within a month, 3 weeks maybe even. It's been an absolute nightmare. We discovered now that both of the radiators in our living room have been leaking all over my lovely, lovely brand new wool carpet that I got put in when we moved in. It just seems to be at the minute one thing after another, and I can't wait until this super moon is over. I think it peaks tomorrow. It's going to peak tomorrow when it's properly full, but the effects normally of a full moon affect 3 full days, and because it's going to be, I think it's like is it the brightest or closest, something like that, in like 70 years. It's affecting everyone, whether they understand that or maybe feel that or not. Every person, every sentient being, and it's crazy. And I'm quite a sensitive person. Actually, I'm a really sensitive person on a lot of levels, and I just want to hibernate and wait until this is over. I'm not going to allude to what's just happened in other parts of the world, because I think everyone's just trying to forget about it really, but I really despair for the world sometimes, and it's just unbelievable everything's going on. And yeah, I'd like to hibernate out for a while and let things settle a bit more, and then just, you know, put on my big Doc Marten boots and wade through and crusade and just try and survive another day. And it's hard, I'm sure everybody is really feeling it just now. We really do need to start being a bit kinder to one another. On that note, about sentient beings and being kind to one another, when we swapped houses with our neighbour had 3 cats already, and one of those cats, the day the swap happened, she's like, yep, fine, this is Simba, he's a gorgeous big fluffy ginger Tom. He took it best actually. Smeagol and Martha, my girls, settled after the first night. Oh, we live here now, right, that's good. Simba, as soon as he had his football and things next door, it's just, oh, I live here now, that's all grand. And that was the situation for about a couple of weeks. And then he started spending more and more time with Josh and myself over here. And my girls are really very accepting. And we've got quite a sizable house now, so it was fine. Poor Simba was really upset. He was pulling all the fluff out of his tail and his back and losing weight, and was really starting to get in quite a sorry state. And Simba's not had the best start in life, because he was dumped in Dunfermline, which is a good distance away from Perth, when he was already a few years old. He has no teeth at the front of his mouth, so he's got no teeth at the top and at the bottom, but he's got his fangs, his wee incisors. And we don't really know what his story is, although when he first met my nephew, he just took to him and loved to him. So the way he's interacted with children, I strongly believe that he's been a family cat before he's been dumped. And he's very, very much a men's cat. I mean, he loves me, don't get me wrong, but he's Josh's cat. He's just adopted him. He's sprawled all over him. He's like, I just claim you for my human. Can't get enough of him. He's set his wee internal time clock, so when he gets a rough idea of when Josh is coming home from work, he'll go and walk up the big windy road and sit and wait for him and walk him home, which is just adorable. So after the first 6 weeks of us speaking to our neighbour, she understood he was here, said we're not encouraging him, we're not feeding him, but if for whatever reason he's feeling that he just needs a wee bit of time out and solitude and quiet in our home, we're fine with that, you're fine. And Kathy was fine about that. 6 weeks in, she called me over one night and just handed me a box of cat food and went, just start feeding him. She said, I'm fine, I know where he is. If you had to be anywhere, I'd rather he was with you. Well, we did that, and apart from him basically going out and about to do his business because he has an outdoor cat, he's spending all the rest of his time here, so we appear to have gained an extra fur baby. So that makes Smeagol, Martha Bean and Simba, who does properly look like a wee lion. So I'm sure he will probably be making some sort of, you know, feature in the near future. That's probably my biggest news. I'll give you some dates as to where to find me on this section just now, and then we'll move on to what else is going on, what's arrived and such. So yeah, dates of where to find me. As of the middle of this coming week, I will be the featured artist at Lagham Felt Studio in Crieff, that's in Perthshire. Lovely Tracy, in exchange for a pair of hand knitted socks that I've made for her, which if you're a regular viewer you will have seen not so long ago. She's asked me, or invited me, to be her featured artist over Christmas and into the new year, so absolutely delighted with that. So you will find a range of my hand knitted accessories and my knitting kits there as well. So in particular my Rest and Be Thankful alpaca fingerless mittens will be there, my Ardley alpaca lace cowl will be there, probably my Sinclair Street mittens, Methil will probably be there as well, Methil cowl, all sorts of goodies to be found there, whether for yourself or for you know, a knitting person in your life who maybe wants to create your own. And then on the weekend of the 26th and 27th of November, I'll be at two different venues in Perth. So the 26th, which is a Saturday, I will be at the Perthshire Creates Christmas Design Market with an amazing array of locally talented artisans. So if you are in the area, you want to get down to that one, and just, if you're not particularly interested in what I'm doing, come and see what they're doing, because oh, so much talent in one room. I did the event last year and it was really, really good. It's not your traditional craft fair, it really is quite high-end stuff, and prices aren't that bad at all, really. So yeah, that's exciting. It's at Perth Museum and Art Gallery, I'm not sure if I just said that. So it's lovely surroundings, and they've got all sorts of exhibitions going on at the minute, including a Jacobean shield and sword that actually belonged to Bonnie Prince Charlie. So if you're a fan of Outlander, then you might want to come and have a nosy at them too. And it's free entry to get into the museum, so that's always good. So at that event I will have knitted accessories, I'll have some of my kits, I will have some of my Melted Moglet Dye Works hand-dyed yarn as well. Everything at that event I have to physically created myself. It's one of the provisos of actually being accepted into it. And then on the 27th, so that's the following day, I will be at the St Andrew's Day street market. So to avoid confusion, St Andrew's Day is always the 30th of November in Scotland. St Andrews is our patron saint, but this market is on the Sunday just before it. Oh, mind blowing, it's going to be a fantastic day. It's hosted in King Edward Street, so it's outdoors. It's where most of the markets, outdoor markets in Perth are held. There is going to be a massive stage up, so while you are perusing all my bits and pieces, so my hand-dyed yarns, possibly hand-dyed yarns from other Scottish people, everything's got to be Scottish. I'll have my stitch markers. I have Christmas baubles, refillable Christmas baubles with hand-dyed yarn inside them, which would make perfect little stocking fillers or a treat for yourself. They actually go on your tree. Yeah, the entertainment has been really, really well thought out, and it's a free event to attend, so seriously you should come along, because we have Mad Ferret playing, we have the Red Hot Chili Pipers, who are just a mind-blowing act, really high energy. And we have Dougie McLean performing as well, and that is some coup to actually get him. He is a local boy. He has very strong associations to Dunkeld and Butterston, where his recording studio is, but to actually get him to play on his home turf, he does do sort of surprise appearances from time to time, and he has his own Perthshire Amber Music Festival that he does every November. But to actually get him to come out and do this is an amazing feat on behalf of the council, and for it to be a free event too. So if you're in Scotland, even if you're not, come along. It's going to be a great event, but what I would say is that it is subject to the weather. Josh and I were supposed to do this last year. We just about finished getting set up, and we had to call my friend to come down the road with her Land Rover to get the 2 miles out, because there was no way that the snow had just started, to try and get everything packed up and out safely and up the road. And we couldn't get up the full hill to our house, and it's not a massive hill at all, and the power had gone to the stage, and it was just a bit of a nightmare. So fingers crossed it's all going to go swimmingly this year. Right, do you want to see the really exciting stuff? Do you want to see the box and bits and pieces? So first up, something that isn't yarn related, that was given to me as a gift. It was a week today actually. It was a present from Lily, who is Ladybug Lily of the Ladybug Laboratory podcast. Lily sang at me on her last podcast. She sang me happy birthday. I hadn't announced my birthday was coming up. If you're a proper friend with me on Facebook, I don't get all the posts to my wall because I don't tell anyone what date it is. But Lily found out, some of you already knew, so there was a post that Lily put up in our Ravelry group wishing me many happy returns. Thank you to everybody who put lovely sentiments there as well. I sang it Lily when it was her birthday on my podcast. She has returned it, which I didn't expect her to do. It was brilliant. It had me laughing. And Lily very kindly gave to me one of the patterns that I had queued, and it's on my wish list on Ravelry. So she gave to me the Sweet Gemma pattern by Triona Murphy, I believe it is. I'll just check here, yeah, by Triona Murphy. It's going to be a little while before I get round to it, but I'm absolutely delighted with that. There was no need, but it was extremely kind, so Lily, thank you. And to celebrate my birthday, my very good friend Sujatin took me out on a magical mystery tour, and although it wasn't planned, we ended up at Corellia House, which is like a local yarn shop slash haberdashery slash heating engineers out in the very Highland rural Perthshire. We'd planned to go to the Clachan Hotel on the banks of Loch Earnhead because it's dog friendly, and it meant we could take Ojo, who is Sujatin's 6-month-old Lhasa Apso pup, with us. But she didn't go on ahead on the Monday, and it's closed on Mondays during the winter. So it was fine. We went to Loch Earnhead, we went through to Killin, and to the Falls of Dochart, but there was nobody nobody who was dog friendly that was open on that day there either, because it is just totally off season. And it's a shame, because I kid you not, I don't think Perthshire gets any more beautiful, and particularly Highland rural Perthshire, more beautiful than during the autumn time. The colours, and as the light hits the lochs, are just exquisite. I love it. So we knew Corellia would be open, we knew it was dog friendly, so we could go and thaw out, and Ojo could get settled by the log fire should he choose to. And when you go to a local yarn shop, particularly when it's one that's so remote, to me it is very important to support them. Even if it's a card or a pack of buttons or something, I really think if it's within your means to do so, then you should support them, because let's face it guys, if you don't use them, you will lose them. So I bought a ball of sock yarn, because sock yarn never ever goes amiss, and I got this one. So this is Regia Schachenmeier. It's from the design line by Kay Facet. It's a limited edition colour, or special edition as he's called it. Its colour name, it will have a name if you go and check it online, but the colour is known as 03770, and I'm very excited about adding this one to my extensive sock yarn stash, and I will at some point get round to knitting it. So that's not too bad. My mum did give me some money for my birthday, and that's part of what I chose to spend it on. But Carolyn's swap package also arrived just after my birthday. She sent it some time ago, and it's not her fault. She had one hell of a time with the Canada Post, I think it's fair to say. And she was so extremely gracious with her parcel and honest on the customs declaration that I got smacked with an import charge, import duty, and it was import duty or VAT. It was one of the two, and a handling charge before customs would basically release it to me, or parcel force, or parcel farce as it's known in this household, would actually bring it to my home. So they sent me a letter, and then I had to go in and sort things out and pay for it up front before they would release the parcel. Regardless, I just feel so privileged and so humbled by this amazing parcel that Carolyn and her son Ewan, because I know Ewan helped out, have put together for me. So without further ado, I will show you what arrived. So there are Halloween / Salim goodies in here. So they arrived a wee bit late for this year, but they are amazing, and they will definitely go up my home next year. So everything was wrapped up in this big spider web scarf table runner. Not quite sure what it is, but it's amazing, and I love it. And I know this is Ewan's choice, so thank you very much, Ewan. And as I've already told your mum, these stripy socks, over the knee stripy socks that you choose to send to me, before I started to hand knitting my own socks this year, this is the sort of thing I wear every single day. I always wear at least knee-high stripy socks. So that was brilliant. That was absolutely spot on. What else have we got? Right, I have in my box, I have more Halloween items. I've got some stickers, just stickers to pop up on my window. And the card was even Halloween themed, so I'm not going to tell you what's inside because that's personal. Look, this has got a spider on it and everything. Ah. So that's brilliant. I loved it, loved it. Oh, what to show you next, what to show you. There's a couple of Canadian specific goodies. So we got some maple and chive dip mix, which I believe according to the package you add it to about 2 cups of sour cream. Who knew? So really interested in giving that a shot. This is Josh, because I will share. I'm nice like that. And I sent proper dairy milk out to Carolyn and the boys. And they have sent me North American dairy milk, so I believe this is made in the Hershey factory. So I've been really good that I haven't broken into it now, and I am all out of treats in the house. So guess what's going next now, once I've got the podcast up. They weren't just treats for me. No, 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 no. Treats for the cats. Guess what wasn't declared in the customs box and wasn't picked up? We've got salmon treats for the girls and Simba, and they are loving them. These have already been opened and they've had a few. So that was extremely kind. Thank you for remembering them. Excuse me. I'm going to try and save all the yarny goodness for last because there's still a good few things in this box. There's some amazing, amazing coffee in here, and I can't wait to open this. And again, I was waiting until I podcasted. So this is Monogram Coffee Roasters, which I believe are local to Carolyn. They liaise and work with really small producers in Guatemala and Is it bourbon? No. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, definitely Guatemala. Guatemala! Oh dear, oh dear. It's got the most amazing sort of chocolatey, caramelly smells. And there's some orange blossom in there as well. I'm just very, very excited about getting these beans in the grinder. And it wasn't just coffee. They sent me a mug to have my coffee in. Look at this. I absolutely adore this mug. This is Canadian pottery from Leishman. So it came with a wee label. Stoneware pottery. Now I love pottery and I love ceramics, and I believe that this is quite an iconic sort of design of the tree and the rock, because Carolyn has sort of followed that up with me. I love the colours, I love the glaze, I love everything about this. Ever since this parcel has arrived, this is the only mug I'm using, and I am quite funny because I just, whenever I'm having a beverage, a hot beverage, I just love using my own mug. But confession time, because much as I love pottery and ceramics, I have never, ever actually bought any for myself. So I am, this just made my day to receive this. I mean, it's all wonderful, but I couldn't believe this mug was in here. It's just amazing. So thank you so much. And the fact that, again, it's local and Carolyn has put the package together, but not only that, she's been supporting artisans that are local to her, crafters and makers, and people that really rely on that income. It's just, it's extra special. And then there was yarn and stitch markers. So I'll show you the stitch markers. These are from Bling Your String, which I believe Carolyn works with quite a lot. There you go, Bling Your String. And this really tickled me because look, it's got, whether you can see it or not, the TNBT logo, the Knits Beautiful Thing, for Carolyn's podcast on them. And I've got Little Moon, don't think it's going to focus up. All of these gorgeous, gorgeous little silvery stars and black balls and stitch markers. Oh, I can start using them now. Again, I can start using them because I've shown them to you now. Just amazing, amazing. But it doesn't end there. No, 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 no. Got a pattern for socks. Because there's an absolute, what do you call it? What's the collective noun for yarn? I don't know. Collective noun for yarn. I've got enough sock yarn here to make 3 pairs of socks. So Peyton's Croy, or Patton's Croy, however you're supposed to pronounce that, which is a brand that we get in the UK, but we can't get Croy or Croy socks. We just can't get it for love nor money. Don't think the light's brilliant at the moment for showing you what the colours are, but oh, I see socks in my future. I mean, there's already socks been going on, but there's going to be so many, many more coming in the new year. Look, these are fab. A lovely selection of colours. I think this might be the first colour to get cast on. I think this one might be my favourite. I'm totally going through this real sort of blue phase right now. Blue is supposed to be the colour of the throat chakra and self-expression, so maybe I'm just needing to speak up for myself a bit more. Who knows? Who knows? And this, I'll show you this one now. This actually isn't technically part of this parcel. I won a competition, a wee giveaway on Carolyn's podcast. So she included it because she hadn't sent the box off by that time. So this, I don't think it's going to pick up the colour very well, oh dear. Dragon Strings, Gnome Hat Fingering Weight. This is 85% superwash merino and 15% neps. 100 grams and 438 yards, which I'm not sure the meterage without going and doing conversion, because I always work in meters. This is called Tortitude 2. which is hilarious. I didn't see that until I was starting to record yesterday, that it actually had another name on it, Tortitude. Because Smeagol and Martha are both tortoise shells. So that is highly, highly appropriate. And then I won't read all the names to you, but inside my mug were a selection of minis. And I'm not sure whether these are 5 gram minis or 10 grams. I will have to go and weigh them. So I'm not sure whether they're going into my blanket yet or not. But I've got one from a company based in New York, one from Nova Scotia, and there's one from Alberta. It's just an amazing look. I just feel so blessed and humbled and loved, and look at the colours. Aren't these just amazing? So massive, massive thanks to you, Carolyn, and to Ewan. Guys, I'm going to sign off for just now. Hopefully this looks like it's all recorded fine, so we'll get it uploaded, and then hopefully tomorrow I will do part 2 of this podcast. This might just be the way we have to do things at the minute if I'm having technological problems or the lighting isn't great. To be fair, I've found that I have rambled an awful lot more than I was planning to in this section, because maybe I was breaking up into 2. But hey, that happens. It has been a wee while since I last spoke to you after all. So take care of one another. Happy knitting, happy spinning, happy crocheting, happy whatever it is you do. Much love, and I'll see you in part 2 really soon. Bye bye.